Anyone who is new, welcome to my page, welcome to my YouTube channel. I've seen a whole bunch of new followers and likes coming into my Facebook page. And if you're new to Facebook and you have not yet been to my YouTube channels, I have two of them. One is my podcast, She Is More Than Existing, and the other one is Corey Thorne, the Spiritual Healer. You can even find all the information that you want to find on CoreyThorne.com. You can check out all my work and all the new and upcoming things that we have happening. We are going through a little bit of a facelift, some changes happening throughout the program and throughout my work. So hello, Lorene. Hi, we're just talking about a little bit of a facelift happening all the way through. So by September, you'll see some changes happening. You'll see some new things happening. Hello, Lisa Richard. And all the new changes is happening with the assistance of Lisa Richard. So, hello, Wendy. So yes, so if you're new and you're just on here, all of the information, anything you need, go to CoreyThorne.com. I am fully booked right now for sessions. I am booked until September. I am taking some time to do some work of my own. So if you are looking to book an appointment with me, you can go to CoreyThorne.com, but you will be booking into September. So just so you know. Hello, Tracy and Heather and Krista and Bonnie. Hello. So this is later in the afternoon for me here, and I'm trying to get in when I can to do these. Last night was really late. Today, I'm not really looking any better. I am still working through clients, plus trying to move. I am moving the first load tomorrow, and I noticed I just loaded up the truck, and now it's pouring down rain here, and I'm like, no! There's a cover, but there's a cover, but the cover sometimes leaks, and I'm like, no, don't rain. It wasn't supposed to rain here. So welcome. We're just letting people get in. Hi, Natalie. So energy forecast for today, energy reading for today. Let me see what I have coming through this energy. Last night, I spoke about glitches, and I spoke about how glitchy the energy is and how glitchy we may feel. And I know when the energy is really glitchy, because I also neurologically get very glitchy. I have like a misfire that happens, and so I could feel that misfire happening, and I could feel that energy. I just ordered food about 40 minutes ago, and I forgot I ordered food. So I got to run downstairs and get my food in a second and lay it on the counter. That's how crazy the energy is. So it is very glitchy. So you may be having issues and problems with a lot of like technology and stuff. Well, today the energy is just like the rest of the week. We are riding the freaking wave. We're riding the wave in the energy right now, but we also have a lot of dismantling, a lot of the old. I said what it feels like. The only way I can describe this, I feel like I have just gone through either giving birth or coming out through the freaking birth canal. That's what it feels like. It feels like I've either just given birth and you're happy, you're happy to be through that experience, and you look forward to the journey that's coming, but it's like, holy crap. Like that's what it feels like. Or you're just like came through the birth canal and they just threw you out in the world and your eyes just opened. You went, oh God, do I have to stay here? Like, it's so bright out here, but there's so much noise out here. There's so much happening out here. And that's what it feels like. So it is the beginning of a new change. We are coming through this like paradigm shift energy. That's speaking spiritual lingo, but to our everyday energy, to our everyday world, is that we are starting to notice a shift and a change in how we're either communicating to each other or what's coming through the pipe of information that we're receiving and that we're getting. We're seeing people starting to move some things aside. And one big thing that you noticed was like, or if you watch the news, was that, when the soccer player took the Coca-Cola bottles and moved them and put the water in front of him and pretty much said, like, that's not supporting me. I'm not supporting that. Like, that's not I don't have to support that. I don't have to do this. I don't have to. And that's what it feels like to me. We have a whole lot of like, you know what? I don't have to turn a blind eye. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to say that I like something that I don't like. Like all of that kind of energy is what's there. And we're taking that kind of stand. So there's a lot of dismantling, a lot of like rebuilding, a lot of starting over, or just outgrowing. So we've outgrown the old ways. We've outgrown our old ways of being, thinking, living, and we're starting to adjust. And as some of us are getting older, adjustment is sometimes hard, and it's a hard time. It's hard to adjust to change. And so for some people, there's a little bit of stubbornness, there's a little bit of like hanging on, but we're slowly letting go. Hello, 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 everyone who's joined in. Am I being a little bit glitchy right now on your end, Carlene? I'm probably being a little bit glitchy. My Wi-Fi is really crappy. And as you can tell by my desk, there's stuff everywhere because my house only has like little bits of stuff left everywhere. As of tonight, probably this on the walls here will be gone tonight. Um, I'm going to my new house in Sylvan Lake tomorrow and starting to kind of bring stuff into there, starting to do some work into the new house and moving some of my stuff there. Um, so there is a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of things that are going on. So our whole world feels like it is getting a facelift right now. We are getting facelift. We have to dismantle to build the new, and we were dismantling. We're kind of breaking through. But there's a lot of honesty to come out. There's a lot of truth that has to come out. Like, and I don't know how honest it really is, but you're seeing a change and a shift happening all the way around. So we have some big changes coming. That's happening everywhere, including our own world. And so this week, I've definitely been up and down in my energy, not going to lie. Has been definitely a challenging week. A water bottle in the way. And so I just feel like we have nothing that needs to be hidden. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So I do have to run downstairs and get my food. So my computer, I'm going to leave the screen for just a second. I have to go down to the door. But our card that's coming out is Shelta. So we have Shelta coming up today, and she is the observer. And that's what we are being asked to be an observer of the energy, to not to take things too personally, to not to be caught up in the energy, to be so personally invested and connected in what is happening around us and what has to happen. And sometimes when you have to make a change, like there's changes happening in the company, in the business, and some of those things have to happen. They're important. It's a must do. You must do some things. And it's like it's not that it's like I can't take it personally that I have to make my own changes. It's like I can't hang on too tight to who I used to be or what I used to be. And I had to let things go of who I used to be. And that's what we have to do. It's just to be an observer of your own life. Be an observer of your own life, where you're going, what's happening. Be an observer of the changes that's happening, not to take, everything too personally. Did I do something wrong? Was I doing something wrong? Was it not enough? And no, it's not any of those things that's happening around us. It's just that we are all changing, we're all growing, we're all evolving. And so we're shedding skin, we're shedding layers, we're shedding our old self. And that's where you may be today. And so we have attitude that happens around those times. When we have that attitude, just stop and question yourself. What am I trying to hold on to? Why am I not willing to let go? Why can't I just let these things? What is it that's holding? What is it that's holding me hostage to the past? And we're starting to move through that. But give me one moment. Don't leave me, okay? Stay right there. I will be right back. It's a good thing I got pants on today. Because my room's been so hot that I've been going around in bikini bottoms and t-shirt and wearing my clothes on top. But today I'm actually dressed. Today I actually got pants on. Good thing. Okay. So observer is Shelta, and looking into, so to observe our lives, it also means to observe the universe, like observe the world that's outside of us, and to look at the astrology and the planets and the alignment of the planets, and where the planets and where the stars are aligned, where the stars are aligned right now in astrology, and where it was, say, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. Like we're in a repeat of cycles, but we're in the repeat of cycles so that we can break the cycles. We are change agents, and we're here to be the change. We're here to be the change agents in our own lives, in our own ways, and to not let things have band-aids again, not to just have temporary changes, like temporary satisfaction, right? It's like to make a real change in our lives so that we don't have to keep repeating, and you can end karma. So we have a lot of karma release that's happening right now, and to be able to release that karma, to be free of it, to be done with it, that's also coming up. So that's in the energy this week. I'm still trying to feel through some of what I'm getting here. I want to say want to go into the mystical. So hello, everyone who's joining. So nice to see you all. I am using my deck of cards, but I'm also going to shift out here. Isis. So I have goddess energy in here, and you don't have to be, and this is the everyday goddess oracle cards, but I have the goddess in here as well with us today. And I am going to pull the Isis cards for us today. I feel a need to pull the Isis cards, and I can tell you Isis is very big with us. And so the very first thing I talked about come in was, I said I felt like I was being like pushed through that birth canal. I feel like you just arrived type of thing, and it's rebirth, it's purity, it's after, is that whole essence of that wholeness and coming into wholeness. And we are a part of the wholeness, the to be that sense of that new beginnings, purity. We're innocent to what we don't know yet. We're innocent to this new world. So sometimes we act like we're like bad children when we don't know what we're doing. Like we have this attitude, we have this energy, we have like this pouty kind of energy, or we have like little tantrumy kind of energy, because we're like little children. We're unsure of who and what we're supposed to be after everything else that we have been through. And so there is that kind of energy that is also there, because we're in that wholeness, but we're wiser. We're also wiser. We're also much more wiser. We're becoming much more aware. We're thinking for ourselves again, or we're starting to think for ourselves again. We're not being so limited in any of the fears and letting ourselves be like afraid to think for ourselves. We're not, but also knowing the power of coming together and working together and being in a collective group together. That's also very important to us right now. But I am going to go to Isis, and I'm going to pull the Isis from Alanis Fairchild, her deck of cards. This is Isis Oracle, and this is the goddess Isis. And so we want to pull her. And hello to everybody who's joining from YouTube as well. So we're on Facebook and YouTube at the same time that this is being recorded, that this is being broadcast live. So we have both places going at the same time. So this is just a energy reading that I'm doing for a collective, for everybody, that I do each and every day. I come in every day and do these. Usually it's in the morning, but because of my schedule and getting ready to move and all of those things, it hasn't been happening. Some days it hasn't been happening at all. So this is the Isis, and I feel like she's coming in because of change, because of this beautiful connection of, when we just start to, when one thing ends, the renew, the new birth, the regrowth. the regrowth. I'm looking at my own regrowth. The rebirth of us, and the anew. So we're moving into the days of the anew is what it feels like to me. And so this sun energy is what we're pulling and picking up here right now. And coming into having that golden light energy that's amongst us or coming in. So the divine feminine, the softer, gentler energy is what is needed, but that doesn't mean weak. That means strong, courageous, but being able to sit and listen to each other. Oh, not even a picture of her. It is the knot. It is the knot of Isis that is coming up for us. And this is about stability. And what we're getting with this is the energetic of stabilization with the buckle of the beloved. So it feels like that whole, we are going to start to stabilize the energy. We're starting to lock in. We're starting to find more of a, like, everything is going to stabilize, and then we're going to be able to connect the pieces, bring things together. Oh, for God's, what is with this the last few days? So Sam, you don't even know who I am. You don't know what I actually do. And I used to just ignore that, but I would never come onto your page and be mean or cruel to you. And I'm a professional life coach, just so you know, and I work in many things. And I work from the kindness of my heart. So if you feel the need to be not nice, then that's your choice. I'm trying to be a part of being kind to each other, to be nice to each other, to find a nicer way. I am so tired of social media emotional abuse. I am tired of it. So tired of it. It is so cruel. It is so mean. It is so hurtful. I am a human being, just as everyone else is a human being. And this guy is on YouTube. And so, you know, there's nothing to be aware of me. Actually, I'm pretty open and vulnerable and real. And I just, people, I wish you nothing but the best in your journey, Sam. And if sitting in here and taking and doing this to people is what you, to be cruel like that, then so be it. But you don't know who I am. And I say this all the time, I don't con nobody, by the way. And I do a good portion of my work is done for free. So, and if sitting in here and taking and doing this to people is what you, so, thank you for feeling the need to stop in, and you can kindly leave. Go somewhere where you would like to be, and not somewhere where you need to be here. So thank you. So stabilization, back to that. Stabilization. And so what we got with this is that the sense of that beloved energy. And so when I speak of a lot of this work, I speak about, bringing it into our everyday world, our human existence that we live in right now, where we are. I mean, my cards are called the Everyday Goddess. It's women. It is about who we are today. And, we can give anything we want, a name, a mystical name, but you can create your own stories and turn it into any reality that you want. You can live in fear. You can live with hate inside. But to stabilize your energy, to come into that place, is to get to that place in the middle road, to know that you have to make a choice to choose to be who it is that you need to be. And because the world energy does feel like it is stabilizing, it does feel like we are kind of getting that more balancy kind of energy, where we're going to be more willing to sit with each other and listen to each other's stories, to be more present with each other, to be just there for each other, to be kinder, a nicer world, because the world still has a lot of beauty. The world still has a lot of good. The world still has a lot of good things. Right, I know. So so Raina, you're on YouTube right now. Well, um, you can probably block him. I can't do it from here right now. I don't know why. I just do the delete. And so this is, when we go through this knot, it's about where is it that what I'm getting, not hers. Um, where is it that we need to stabilize our own energy in our own personal journey? Where is it that we feel like we're still like a little bit wobbly, glitchy, a little bit of that kind of energy in our own lives? Thank you, Tracy. And so being able to find that happy medium balance for us right now so that we can really come into perspective. And so stabilization also is perspective. It is also about being able to get that middle ground, that middle place where you can look around, where you can find that balance, where you can be courageous enough and secure enough in who you are that you can truly explore, that you can truly look at and have that. And I know one of my friends shared this yesterday. And I spoke about this last night. It's about sitting with people. It's about, like a people library where you actually sit and have to listen to somebody who you probably would not have listened to, about listening to their stories and to get to know humanity. And for us to be able to have dignity for humanity, for us to be able to connect to each other on a more civilized manner, in a civilized way, to be kinder, to be gentler. And that's where ISIS is coming in. And it's like um no longer having to hide who you are. And that's what more than existing is about. It's about taking that ownership and responsibility and not having to hide who you are, be allowed to be who you are, and that we can accept each other and accept who we are and what we are, and that we are all a little bit different and we all have something about us that makes us our unique self, and we shouldn't have to hide that. And that's the energy. So, like I said, we got all kinds of stuff keeps happening all week. See, I have amazing people in my life. And that's the beautiful life that I now live, is that no matter what my struggles are, no matter is what's happening around me, I am surrounded by people who got my back. I am supported and I am loved. And that is a big part of stability in my life. And I always know that. Next card. Proper burial for freedom. Proper burial for freedom. And so to know to do ceremonies, to be able to have that, and this is the Lord of the Dead, the sacrifice to Osiris, and it's the Lord of the Dead. And so this, I know you don't usually see me use these cards. I use these when I'm doing my own personal work. And so today I decide to pull them up and pull them out. And to just know is that when we're able to surrender things over, to let things go, to be able to, like I said, not take things so personally, just like that invasion we just had that just came into YouTube, is like, I don't take that so personally, because that's a reflection and a projection of them, of who they are, of what they are, what they're existing in their own story. And that's the thing that I've learned, that I'm learning, haven't got it fully yet. I'm learning to not to take somebody else's bad behavior personal. And that's huge. And surrendering over those moments and surrendering over anything in our own lives when we've acted out of alignment to our truth, and to not to keep beating yourself up for something you may have said, something you may have done, something an old version of you may have said or done like 10 years ago. And you're still like, oh my God, I did that. I said that. But that was whatever you were, whoever you were, and whatever you were existing in that moment, that was a different place. You were in a different energy, you were in a different truth. Like that wasn't, that's not who you are right now. So you can't keep apologizing for who you used to be. You can't keep trying to make up for something of the past. It's like learning to let that, to surrender that as a past story. That's where I was. So when I'm working with people and we're doing the healing work on somebody, I'm like, what we're talking about or what we're healing with is something of not who you are today. So from who you are today, from this person of who you are right here, right now, what is it that you're ready to surrender? What is it that you're ready to let go of? Exactly, Brenda. Yes. And I'm kind of it's kind of an impossible thing for me to live as anybody but myself. I'm not very good at acting. As you can see, if when I'm not having a when I'm out of sorts and when I'm not in a good place in myself, I'm not very good at acting. Ah, thank you. And so when we're in here, what are we, the energy of the divine, the energy of that world that loves us outside of here, our loved ones of the past, they're always saying to us, just, just ask us, ask for our help, ask for us to be here. We're here to help you. Surrender it to us, give it to us. And also surrendering means bringing it into here so that you can see the truth of your story, so that you can see the truth of what we keep telling ourselves, and to be able to build a new way of looking at things, a new way of existing within our stories, a new way of finding a new way to do things. In neurolinguistics programming is we build new pathways to be able to deal with certain things, to be able to break habits, to be able to let go of old ways. And so sometimes it could be as simple as when you're being triggered, it could be that you just so much as say a necklace. So when you're being triggered is you touch your necklace, and then that second you do that, then it's your attention goes somewhere else, and you just have to give your attention to elsewhere. Yeah, I don't believe in curses. Sorry, Sam. You're back again. Just couldn't stay away. I don't work in curses. That's not what I do. Sorry. That's not who I am. You made her back. Need attention today. Okay. And so now I'm going to go back to my cards, and I'm going to pull one more card before I have to go, because I do have to do some other work. And then I actually have to record a podcast. So if you want to get to my podcast, go to She Is More Than Existing, and that's where my podcast is. And that's the everyday woman. That's the whole journey of more than existing. If you're new to my page, my book is called More Than Existing. And this is the journey. This is the healing journey from moving beyond, all of the hurts that I would exist in, all the things that I would continue to tell myself, the stories I tell myself, and to be able to move beyond that. And it takes you into that place of more than just existing, and being able to live a life that's more honest and authentic to you, true for you. And you have to take ownership and responsibility of your own life. You have to take ownership and responsibility of what is yours and reject what is not yours, and to be able to let that go. I wonder if, hold on, everybody. My computer screen just froze up. I think I got it now. I think I figured that out. Okay, back to my cards. So now back to these cards, and it is innocence, which is grace. And this is the return to innocence of when we are able to look at our lives in the way of saying, like a lot of the a lot of our habits, a lot of our behavior, a lot of our ways that we react and we respond is actually based on conditioning. It's what we're conditioned to believe to be right. It's what we live in, what we exist within in the whole world itself. So if you're taught something and that's all you're taught, and you're taught to believe that that's the only way and that's it, then you believe that to be true until you find out another story. And when you find out another story, well, then you find out, well, that wasn't true. So you didn't know it to be any other way. So you're innocent to a certain part of that until you know it to be true. But as a grown adult, we do have the opportunities to be more willing to look beyond. And that's what I would say. If you want to know who I am personally, then you have to come meet me personally. You have to get to there. And so we don't make assumptions and assume things about each other. And so when we spoke about this, this is on my board from last night, is grace. And I'm like, there's intervention. So there is grace that is the intervention of grace, of when, it's just like miracles just happen, or like that intervention of where it just steps in and just blocks you from about to make one of your most disastrous, moments in your life, and there's just something that just stops you from doing something. That's a form of grace. And then you have the sense of like habitual, the habits. And so choosing to live a life that is more in alignment to grace is the place of where we start. And that's where we are right now, is that if you really want to be able to, if we want to do things differently, then we're going to have to start living a life that's more in alignment to thinking about our actions, our behaviors, and our words in a way. Is that serving the highest good? Is it, is it compassionate? Is it kind? Is it, is that really going to really, is that really worth it? Who is it impacting and affecting for me to have that opinion or that thought? And so this beautiful card arrived the day that my granddaughter was born. And that's the day that she was, oh God, another one. Sorry, Damien, I don't believe in curses. I believe in lovey stuff. So, they're going to haunt us for the rest of our lives. Interesting. Whatever is bothering all of you people that are choosing to behave that way, that's what's cursing your life, right? That's what's hurting you. To be kind to each other, to be compassionate to each other this is what I've learned, is that this is what I have learned, is that what they say is the moment that you start to receive more and more of these, your light must be shining brighter. Your light must be shining brighter, because if someone is seeing your light, or someone is, feeling the need to project their kind of anger and hate upon you, then that means that you must be reflecting something that they don't want to have to see within themselves. And that's what I have learned. And I live by that, is that now whenever this is happening, I'm like, well, I must be reflecting something that they don't want to see in themselves. Right. And it's like, they can live in that. I choose to live in this light, this innocence, right? This making my life. I've worked too hard to not to live in sadness and grief and those things, that I'm choosing to live in that joy, that happiness, and that place of finding joy within my heart. And whatever is happening in the material world should not be able to take away from the joy that you have in your heart. And even though you have to deal with challenges, that you start to recognize them to be what they are. So the habit of living a life that's within grace is that you make a choice to choose to do the right things for the right reasons. You choose the kind word, choose the nicer word, choose the joy, choose the happiness, choose those things. And so well, I'm sorry that that's the way you feel about the world. And I can tell you, there is a lot of things in the world that would make people feel that way. I get it. I understand it, but it doesn't mean that that you need to project that out on anyone else. Really, honestly. I love people. I think there's a lot of good people in the world, and even those that are struggling and those that are angry, and that those that are, not liking the world, I think there's still love inside of them too. So I don't feel the same way. And so our mystical dreamer is Merlina, last card. And this is the seven, in this world and out of this world. And just knowing that we can be a part of this world and that world, but finding that middle line and being in that place and knowing your truth, it gives you an opportunity to be able to explore the world as bigger, to know that there is so much more. And that beautiful world that exists outside of us, it's like we don't wait to leave this world to create, to live, to get to heaven, to find that happiness or to be wherever. It's about, you're welcome. And so it's being able to create our heaven on earth, whatever your heaven on earth is. Nobody can tell you how to live your life. You have to be your own healer. You have to be your own guru. You have to become your own inspiration. And you also have to become your own hero. And you hear me speak of that often. And this is truly about seeing that there is an opportunity for us to create our own heaven on earth, like our own happiness, our own joy. And that means that we stop letting the past, we stop letting the anger, we stop letting what's happening anywhere else in the world to define who we are, to define the happiness and the joy that is within us. And that no matter how much you try to put a mask on, you try to play those roles, how much you try to be all of those things, is that our attitude still shows. And when your attitude is showing, it means that there is something that you are pretending, something that you're hiding behind, something that you're masking. And when you just allow yourself to be vulnerable, be real, be your truth, and just let yourself show up in the world, and even if it's a shitty ass day, still show up. Just show up in as you, as your truth, and not have to be a persona, not try to have to act out, not try to impress anybody, not try to destroy anybody, and just be real and just be honest. And when we do, our whole world, our world that exists within us, is so much better. It's a much more beautiful world. And I choose the beautiful world. And today I hope that you do too, even though there's a lot of glitchy and there's a lot of glitchy happening, and there's a lot of up and down energy, and there's a lot of that kind of like negative kind of that's just like zooming in at us everywhere. It is coming from everywhere, but there's a dismantling that's happening. We're trying to come into this stability, and as this dismantling is happening, what happens when you tear down an old building? What happens when you root up an old foundation? What happens? What comes out of the woodwork? What comes out of the ground? What rises up? It's like carpenter ants. It's like carpenter ants. It's like all the things that was rotting away and eating away at you starts to rise up, and it starts to come out, and it comes to the sunlight. And when it does, it just clears out the nest, and everything gets cleared. And then we put down new ground, and we put fresh ground, and we put in a new foundation, and we put in beautiful foundations, and we make it strong and stable, and we build up from there. And that's what's happening right now. That's why we're seeing a lot more of this. This is why we're in this. But you just know that when your light is shining bright, when you're doing the right things for you, there's always going to be there's going to be those people, there's going to be those energies that are going to try to come in and try to get you to fall from grace, try to get you to leave that place that you're finding within you, and to be able to then just rise up from there. Yeah, well, Damien, I don't believe that you really are. I believe that's not really who you are. I don't believe you are that. And it's like, don't let don't let the world around you make you become that person, because it's not who you are. I can tell you it's not who you are. Don't become it. It's not worth it. Because the only person that it really, really affects is you. And when it's affecting you and it's causing you that much angst inside of you, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? There's an opportunity for us to be the best of us, to be the best of you, to live for you, to not let the world outside of you take away what you're here to be. And there's a beautiful light inside of each and every one of us. And I don't care where you have been and what you have been through. I can tell you, I've worked with people in my life that has done some really shitty things in this life. And I still see the light within them. I do. I'm a light worker. I didn't say I'm here to put curses on people or to do mean things or to take anything from anybody. I'm here because this, for whatever reason, I spent years as a hairdresser. I spent years, 30 years behind the chair, working my ass off. And I spent years doing that and costing me a lot in my health that start to make me not be true to me. And I was told that I could never probably be able to stand. I'd be in a wheelchair, and I'm still freaking standing. And you know the difference? Because I chose to do something different than I was doing before. I chose to do the healing work on me. I'm not here to be someone's guru. I'm not here to tell you that I can heal you. I'm here to tell you that if you make the changes within you to be the change that you want to see, that you can live a different life and you can choose that different life. And that's the difference. Yeah. And so I hope in some way that makes a difference for all of you. And so I work in helping people through shadow work. My work is called more than existing. So I hope in some way that helps you. Thank you, Damien. And Damien, I'm glad you stayed. I'm glad you stayed. Thank you for staying. I wish you well. I really do. I really wish you well. And thank you for having the courage to sit and listen. That speaks volumes. So I appreciate that very much. So everyone have a beautiful, beautiful day. And if you're not seeing, this is on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So you may not be seeing comments on both, but we're talking on both at the same time here. But I do have to go. I have other things to do yet today. I still have many hours left to work. I'm working till about 9-10 o'clock tonight. So much, much love. I'll actually be in early tomorrow morning before I start moving some of my stuff to my new town, my new city. So much love. Have a beautiful day and take good care of yourselves. And just ride the waves with this energy and stay in your heart. Operate from your heart and just know that all we have to do is just stay till the end to see the truth of love and light that really exists within each and every one of us. See who you were at the end of when you had to do the right thing for the right reasons to help yourself, to be able to be the strength, to be the courage. We all have it within us. Much love. Bye-bye.